Hello everyone, I am Katie. Welcome to my channel. If you haven't seen me before, I have a little lady who is 2 and I vlog and blog about all things lifestyle, travel, parenting, food, anything that takes my fancy. And welcome. If you like what you see, please don't forget to give me a good thumbs up. Not a thumbs down, but just a thumbs up. And don't forget to subscribe to my channel somewhere. So today I just wanted to do a bit of a chitty chatty video because I am facing what people call the terrible twos. And I don't like to call it the terrible twos. I am going to call it the sassy twos. The sassy twos, as I'm going to call them, are becoming a little bit challenging, well, more challenging than they ever have been before. We are sort of hitting 2.5 now and we are really in the midst of it. Before you become a parent, you've heard of them, you know what they are, but you absolutely have no idea how to deal with them or anything when the time comes. So I thought I'd do a really quick chitty chatty video of some of my hints and tips as I'm learning along the way of dealing with the sassy twos. So here we go. My tip number 1 is to stock up your cupboards. Sounds a bit crazy, but stock up on things that you like to get you through the day. So I stock up on hot cross buns, for example, which is terrible for my weight, but hey ho, or chocolate or tea or something for you, something that you're going to enjoy and something that you're going to have time out with, because we all need that little bit of time out and something to keep us going throughout the day. So stock up your cupboards with something that you will like. Tip number 2. If it all gets a little too much, a little too heated, and you feel like you need a moment, just walk away. Take yourself out of the situation and have some time out. I tend to just go and sit on the toilet. It sounds crazy, but I just have to go for a wee or whatever, and I just sit there for a minute or two on my own if I can without them knocking on the door, and I just take a moment to just take it all in, take a deep breath and just go, okay, it's okay, and then go back with a fresh head. Just have a moment, take a time out, step away from the situation. That is my best advice, really. Number 3, I can't do that, sorry, because that little finger goes up. But tip number 3 is to just breathe. If the tantrums or if it's a bit heated and you need a moment, just remember to breathe, because breathing obviously gets that oxygen flowing, it will clear your mind, and you will feel a lot better. And even just by breathing and focusing on your breathing for a minute takes you away from a situation and keeps you very calm. And I mean, you need to be calm sometimes with toddlers when they're having their moment, and you need to have a level, clear head. So just remember to breathe. I mean, it is such a life skill, isn't it? It's just something that's quite normal to us to breathe. But unfortunately, when I have a moment or I'm feeling a bit stressed or anxiety, my first thing I do is forget to breathe, which is just stupid, I know, but I do. But by breathing through your nose and breathing back out, you just feel that zen and feel calm again. And it just brings everything back into perspective. So just remember to breathe. Tip number, I have to do that again, 4, sorry. Tip number 4 is to have some sort of behavioural strategies in place. Now, I hate that word. I hate behavioural strategy, whatever that word is. I just don't like it, but that's what I need to say. So I have introduced the timeout mat. Now, I am a really big softie at heart, and I absolutely hate disciplining my little girl. I hate that word as well. But you have to introduce something, because toddlers, 2-year-olds, they do need boundaries and they do respect you for it. And to be honest, this is the hardest thing that I've had to deal with, actually, is creating some sort of strategy, because I really struggle with it. But I've started doing it, and actually it is working. So when my little girl has her meltdowns or does something that isn't quite right, and she's not listening to me, I now have to say to her, we're going on the timeout mat until you say you're sorry to mummy for what you've done. And I bend down to her level and I explain to her why she's going on the timeout mat, what she has done wrong and what she needs to do in order to correct it. And we do that, but sometimes I have to put her back on the mat, and sometimes up to 7 times until she says she's sorry and she explains what she's sorry for. And we then obviously have a cuddle and they say it's okay, we just don't do it again. And I've really noticed the difference in her. Like, she just automatically has so much more respect for me, and it's become so lovely and loving all of a sudden afterwards. And yes, it's really horrible to do. Yes, it's really hard to do, especially for somebody like me who's just super soft. But actually well, my little girl seems to respect me a lot more for putting in some sort of boundaries and basically telling her, no, you scream at mummy, it's unacceptable. Strategy number 5 is to really talk to your little ones. I find that talking to my little girl and talking through everything and explaining everything to her really works. Just by me saying you haven't behaved, you're going on the out of time match, she won't understand necessarily why I'm doing that. So by me explaining everything to her clearly as to why things are happening and why she might be feeling a certain way, and just really communicating clearly with her, I find really works and really helps. And I want her to feel when she's a bit older that she can talk to me about anything and that we can be open with each other, and I think now is the time to introduce that. And from us it really works, and she's really chatty anyway. Tip number 6 is to put yourself in your little one's shoes. Now, we were all 2 once, we all went through it, we were all experiencing things, and we need to remember that. My little lady is going through so many changes all the time. She's growing, she's learning, she's developing, she's experiencing new emotions all the time, and it must be a heck of a lot for them to deal with. And sometimes I'm sure they just want to explode, you know, like their head's just full of information buzzing around, and sometimes you have to think, hang on a minute, it's a lot for them to deal with. And I find just by being a little bit more sort of supportive with that and understanding really does help. And we just need to remember that we were all 2 once. I always think of it as like when you're behind a learner driver, we all had to learn to drive at some point, we all made mistakes, and I think by putting yourself in their shoes and remembering that we were there once will help you get through it a little bit. And finally, point number 7, can do it, point number 7 is to keep strong. So when you feel like you're having, like I've had terrible days where I thought, what am I doing? I'm a terrible mum, I can't do this, I've been tested to my limits. And we all, I believe, have those days. And it's perfectly normal to have those days. It is hard. There is no manual for parenting. There's no proper lessons at school. You're just learning. And just take that pressure off yourself. I mean, we're all doing the best job we can do, and it is, I believe, the hardest job in the world. And just remember that you are a strong person and you will get through that day. And just to stop yourself going, I can't do it, or whatever you feel, just go back to a happy moment, a moment where you remember like them smiling or making you laugh, and that will bring you right back into the room and make you feel really good about yourself again, really good about you and your little one, and it'll put everything back into perspective. So thank you so much for watching. I really hope my little hints and tips for dealing with the sassy 2s has helped you. I mean, I am still learning, I'm still going through it, and I'm doing the best job I can do. If you have any questions or any comments or anything, please pop them below, any advice or anything at all. I'm happy to like have a conversation, because we all need to stick together and support one another. Thank you so much for taking the time to watch. If you like what you see, please don't forget to subscribe, and I'm sure I'll have more parenting tips along the way. Thank you so much, and I hope you all have a wonderful Easter weekend, and I'm sure I'll do another video soon. Take care.